Hello, hello. This is Stacy Barlow Hill, your leadership and lifestyle coach, helping you to become the best version of yourself and lead successfully. Today, for our Tuesday talk, I just wanted to kind of talk candidly today. I've been thinking about the rapper DMX, his passing, and he had about a 5 hour long funeral service that aired live on BET yesterday. And I watched most of it, and I just began to kind of think about his life and how um, some people of faith, may argue that he wasn't a person of faith. And I don't know how you could argue that because he most definitely was. Anytime he had the opportunity to open his mouth, he was expressing something of God and something of his faith and something very profound and deep. Um, While in the same sentence, something extreme may come out on the other side. He could move into cursing and talking about something completely different, but it was in him. And oftentimes we feel like someone's faith needs to look a certain way. We feel like someone's Christianity needs to look a certain way, or whatever faith that you practice. We feel like it needs to be a certain way, right? You can't slip a curse word. You can't do this. You can't have multiple baby mamas. You can't drink. You can't smoke. You can't do all of this. Um, People have struggles. Just because your struggle may not be as visible as someone else's, none of us are perfect, and none of us are in a position to be judging someone else. I feel that if you it seemed like the reoccurring theme yesterday in his service was that he was struggling, but that he had the deepest relationship with God that one could have. And he was striving. He was striving to do better. He was striving to be better. And from the sounds of all of his children talking about him, it sounds that he was trying to um, instill that in them too, and instill them to have a relationship with God and his walk. And he never claimed to be perfect. If you've ever listened to any of his lyrics, he's never proclaimed to be perfect. He's professed that he was here to be a messenger, to be able to reach um, those that lived a similar lifestyle, those that came from beginnings like he did, and needed someone that looked and sounded and did things like him in order to be able to reach the people of the same, right? So I've said this before, but you have a unique and divine um, mission, and you can reach people that no one else can reach. You have a background, you have a personality, you have something about you that makes people want to connect with you. And though I may be able to say something, DMX could say the same thing and save a whole bunch of other people that I may not be able to reach. You have something about you that can allow you to reach a whole lot of people that someone else may not be able to reach. You have to be able to walk in your authenticity, in who God truly has called you to be, flaws and all. It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be able to connect with you as a perfect person of faith. And it doesn't matter what religion you practice. If you're a perfect Muslim, if you're a perfect Jew, if you're a perfect Jehovah's Witness, it's going to be hard for people to connect and follow that, to show your flaws and to show your authenticity and to show where you've come from. That's what makes you real. That's what makes people connect with you. That's what makes people see the God in you. That's what makes people know that you're different, that you answer to someone higher than you, that you have someone higher than you that is holding you accountable and that is walking with you. And we all fall short. We all have things that we deal with. We all have things that we have to overcome. And this life is it's not a sprint; it's a journey. And these journeys consist of highs and lows and ups and downs and seasons of harvesting, seasons of planting. Your journey is just, it continues to look like this. But we have to think about those that we impact along the way. And even if you don't have, a platform, so to speak, social media or, YouTube and things like that, you absolutely influence someone. Someone is influenced by your faith and your actions and your walk and your talk. It could be your children, it could be your coworkers, it could be those that you encounter in the grocery store. So you have to think about um, the way that you express your faith. Um, and with saying that, it's not saying that I need to be conscious about how I present myself, where you're turning into um, someone that you aren't. So I'm saying that when you are thinking about your faith, you have to think about your actions, and your actions have consequences, and who do they affect, and are they affecting their walk? So it's not saying that you have to feel like you need to be perfect, but you do have to acknowledge that there may be some changes that you may need to make, and the changes are for you, right? The changes are for you so that you can in turn help someone else, but you're not able to help anyone else effectively until you help yourself. And that's kind of what the whole mission of Live Lead Succeed honestly is all about. I am a lifestyle and leadership coach, but I have not had a private coaching client yet that has actually um, received what it is they thought that they were coming for in the beginning, right? So in the beginning, they may say they want to figure out a plan to get from A to B, and they want to increase their income and things like that. But 100% of the time so far, we have had to do some type of mindset work before we can even get to the leadership part of that. So that's why it's live, lead, and then succeed. We have to figure out how to live first. We have to figure out how to authentically be ourselves. We have to learn how to have confidence in ourselves and confidence in the God that created us. We have to be confident about our purpose and how to live that out, and getting clarity on what it is that we're called here to do. And with that, we learn how to lead ourselves. Once we lead ourselves, then we can effectively lead others. You cannot pour into others if you don't have that within you. It's just like when you're watering and you're watering flowers, they look dry, right? They're a little tiny stem, but you keep watering them, and they begin to grow and they begin to grow. And then guess what? They're able to feed other people because of what you've been planting and what you've been sowing and pouring into them. It begins to overflow, and now it becomes a new life. And now that new life is able to feed someone else. It's able to give someone else life. It's able to reproduce. It's able to create harvest, right? And that's the same thing that happens within us. The more that we feed ourselves, the more that we work on our personal growth, our personal development, the more that we are able to receive messages from God and to know where it is that he wants us to go and who he wants us to serve. Those things have no choice but to overflow and come out of us, and then we are able to serve and to lead effectively. So if you're struggling with your leadership, and you're struggling with your business, and you're struggling with why things don't look the way that God told me that they're going to look, it's probably because you have the self work that you need to do within you. God needs you to um, work on yourself. He needs you to go through the personal growth. He needs you to start beginning to find these lessons in your pain, finding these lessons in your story. Because you have to overcome that. You have to go through that. You have to be able to realize what all of this is for, so that you are able to pour it back into someone else. So, my whole point in all of this today is just that your story does not have to look perfect. No one else's story has to look perfect. There is no model Christian. There is no model person of faith. Now, there are some that you should look up to. There are people absolutely that you can strive, but one person's walk is going to look very different from the next person's walk, and that's okay. The whole the core of it all is that you love God, that you're striving to be better, that you are worshiping to someone that is greater than you. You have someone that's higher than you that brings out the best in you. Your walk may not be flawless. DMX was certainly not flawless, but he left a huge impact on this world. If you can have a 5 hour funeral service televised live, you had some type of impact on this world. You impacted someone. And though his walk may not look like the way that you thought it should look, he no doubt saved someone. He no doubt had an impact on somebody's life. And that's really what leadership is all about, right? Leadership is about service, it's about serving others. I was blessed to receive an award last week by the Professional Women's Network here in Pittsburgh. And it was a Ladies Who Lead award. And that award was so significant to me. And it really really made me think, just how important leadership is, right? Leadership is not about us. Leadership is about serving, and it's about passing on all of the knowledge that you have to other people. It's about helping other people become the best versions of themselves. It's about helping other people's walk and their journey and helping them to do the same, right? To to grow up leaders so that they can be leaders and do the same thing for someone else eventually. But that's what my whole mission is, and to be honored for that was such an amazing feeling, because that's what I have poured my life into. I pour my life into to helping others just become the best versions of themselves, and that sounds, kind of casual. There's a lot that goes into becoming the best version of yourself, but really it's not that complicated. It's really just striving each day to be the best you, and if you fall back, you take a couple steps back forward, and if you slip back again, you take a couple steps back forward. It's not going to look perfect. It's not going to it's not going to necessarily fit some mold or model that you've placed for yourself, or that even someone else has placed on you. Your walk is going to be unique to you. Your walk is going to be what God has called you to do, and it's not going to look perfect. It's not going to have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect to sit here and proclaim your faith and to proclaim that you're a Christian. If God is in your heart and you feel that it is right with your soul, then you are saved, and no one can take that away from you. And as long as you are striving to be better and striving to do better, and intentionally seeking to grow, that's all that God is requiring of you, to do your best, to show up for yourself, and then eventually reaching back and pulling somebody back up with you, and leading the way, and pouring into other people. So I want you to think about your faith today. I want you to think about what that looks like. I want you to think about, um, are you putting unnecessary restraints on yourself? Or are you setting the bar way too high for yourself, striving to be perfect when you don't need to be? Um, Look at DMX's life as an example. Look at how many people he touched. Look at how many people were saved just through his authenticity, witnessing his struggle, seeing him be exactly who he was, not having to be perfect. And if he was perfect, I don't think he would have had the type of impact that he was able to have. So allow God to use you as you are. Allow him to work with you where you are. Um, Allow him to let you be absolutely who you are. I think I said it right the first time, and I'm going to leave it at that. Um, so I thank you today. I thank you for letting me kind of ramble and get this off of my heart, and into the into the airwaves here. But it's important to me. It's important because I struggled with image and perfectionism for so long, that was a journey for me to let that go, and to just let people see the real, the raw, the true, the the real emotions, the human emotions, and to see that I don't always have it together. A lot of us don't always have it together, and that's okay. But what is important is your heart. Where's your heart at? So I'm going to leave that with you all today, but I hope that you take something away from this message today. So do your best, strive to be your best, but don't get caught up in being perfect. All right. I will see you next time.